Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Butterfly Ivy the Nature Witch. Today I want to talk to you about tarot in terms of the path in witchcraft. So what is tarot? Tarot started out as a card game and then later began being used as a tool for divination because it's so full of symbolism and different archetypes and things like that. So it's very useful along the path of the witch. The most common way to use tarot in witchcraft is prior and after a spell. You do it before a spell so that you know, because it can point out things that you didn't know at first, and it might totally change the spell or the ritual that you were about to do. And you can also do it after the spell to see how exactly it's going to manifest. An example of this is, I'm not going to name any names and you'll never find out because I have a huge family. I have a lot of aunts. But the husband of one of my aunts basically left her and was very not too nice. Like I said, I'm not going to go into full details. But I was contemplating doing a karma curse on him because of what he had done to her. Well, I was getting ready to do the spell, and so I did my pre-ritual card reading. And what came to the surface was information that I didn't know. Basically that this was because he was going through a midlife crisis, it was only temporary, he's trying to find himself, things like that. So then that completely changed the spell that I was going to do. I didn't do a karma curse. Instead, I sent positive, loving, and healing energy to both him and her. And it worked out because they got back together, and they're very happy right now. So yeah, the cards were right, it was just temporary, he was just seeking himself. Other methods of divination commonly used is the pendulum. It's where you hold a crystal or a weight on a string and then ask questions, and then the way it swings determines your answer. I personally can't use pendulums. I'd manipulate them. I can hold it perfectly still and I can say, okay, go in circles. And it goes in circles. And then I say, okay, now swing back and forth, and it immediately starts swinging back and forth. But there's lots of different ways of divination. One of my most favorite is if you have a question and you know there's potential outcomes, you can write each potential outcome on a flower pot and plant seeds in each one. And then the first one that sprouts is the most likely outcome. That's one of my personal favorites. Well, with that being said, I hope that helped you. If you have any questions in regards to tarot and witchcraft, oh, I almost forgot. You can also use these tarot cards in spells and in meditation. You can take a card, like, let me find one, like the Lord of Shadows is the death card in my deck. So this card represents change and transformation. So if I needed to change or transform something in myself, I would take this card out of the deck and I would stare at it and get lost in it and go into a meditative state and see how it applies to me in my life. Also, if you need to make a change in yourself, I could take this card, I could put it on my altar and do a spell around it to focused on changing and transforming myself. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to use tarot in terms of witchcraft. Those are just the most common ones. And a little bit of creative thinking can go a long way in terms of that. Well, anyway, thank you so much for joining me for my first video on the channel. And always remember, if you take care of nature, nature will take care of you.